Have you seen the new sign at Jaycee Park? It is as bad as the park is going to be. And for the price that we paid to redo that, it should be made of gold. At least that's what some of the residents are saying on the Cape Coral Facebook pages. So let's talk about Jaycee Park.
Jaycee Park.
So we're going to do things a little bit differently in this video. We are going to start with talking about Jaycee Park and the updates that are happening there. We're going to talk about what the Cape Coral residents are saying about it, and then kind of what we as real estate agents feel about the updates. So if you don't know anything about Jaycee Park, it is a large park in southeast Cape Coral. And for the most part, it has just been a big open space. Walking paths, trees, a view of the Caloosahatchee River, but that's really about it. So the city decided a few years ago that they were going to completely transform this park. They put about $16 to $18 million in the redevelopment of this park, and they're bringing a lot of new things.
So what the city's doing with all of those funds are they're installing a new bandshell. They're doing a boardwalk along the river, getting rid of some of those trees, installing some non-invasive type trees. They're doing a splash pad, play equipment for the kids, things of that nature. So,
which I will be perfectly honest, we've only been up to Jaycee Park a few times because for us, there hasn't really been a draw to go up there. I know that you've taken our kids fishing up there, and that wasn't necessarily a great experience for you guys.
no, once is all we went.
I can't remember what you didn't like about it, but
It was really hard to enjoy that area. Again, the trees were kind of overgrown, and when you can't really fish from there, your line would get stuck on the trees or on the coral rocks and things of that nature. We stayed there maybe about 7 until we were frustrated and left.
But the residents that live around the area have always loved Jaycee Park. And
Yes.
the reason that they've loved Jaycee Park is because of the massive trees, a lot of shade, and really it's always been just a very peaceful and quiet park.
It gave them an avenue to be able to walk outside and enjoy the weather. There were some memorial benches and things of that nature there, so that kind of brought some that brought some nostalgia and things of that nature to that park, yeah.
So I completely understand people's desire not to want to see it change, but this has been planned for a long time.
Mhm.
They started construction. They closed the park in October of 24, and they're almost done with construction. It's supposed to be opening up here soon. I think people are already visiting it and getting their first little glimpses of it. But this has certainly, from the time that it was announced till today, is making headlines in Cape Coral, and people are extremely upset about it. They didn't want to lose the park that they had, and they felt that the spend on this was a little bit over the top. I'll be quite frank, I don't know how much a normal renovation of a park costs, but I mean, in comparison to some of the other projects that they have going on here in Cape Coral, it really was, the dollar amount pales in comparison to the rest of the projects.
I mean, I agree, and I'm not a contractor in any way, shape, or form, but the size of the park and the things that they're adding in there, I mean, it kind of makes sense.
It does kind of make sense.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, I mentioned that a lot of people have been upset with this.
Well, yeah.
And I'll be honest, not having really any heartstrings attached to that park, I've kind of just been sitting back and watching the drama unfold, and it's pretty hilarious.
It's been pretty wild to watch, honestly, the back and forth on it.
It has. So, of course, from the beginning, there were all of these people that were like, no, you're going to take out all of the trees. One of the things that they didn't really understand is some of those trees were invasive and actually needed to be to be removed.
Yeah.
And so regardless of whether you're love for the trees or not, they needed to go. So this has been a constant battle. But what surprised me the most was I've never seen an entire city get more upset, or at least the people that are vocal about it get more upset about a sign.
Oh my God, the sign.
The sign was just unveiled, and people have lost their mind.
It was like the cherry on top for them for whatever reason.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I want to read some of these comments just because, and we'll just talk about them.
Yep.
So of course we had the one that said, have you seen it? It's as bad as the new park will be. For the price to redo that park unnecessarily, that sign should have been made of gold. Like, for the price to redo that park, again, I feel like that's a little silly. But Made of gold, guys, made of have you seen the old signs? Like, the old signs are so out of date.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
1960s, 70s, 80s signs, like,
Yeah.
they needed an
They
update,
have
and
like the Cape Coral like logo on it. So it's
listen,
like,
and
all
this
right,
one
let's get
is
it updated. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, I shared this sign with a couple other realtor friends that I know, and they
Mhm.
were like, "Ah, it's not my style."
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know if it's I mean, you see our wood panels back here. I kind of like that more modern
Yeah.
style, but even if it was something I didn't like, I don't know. I'm not really gonna sit there and complain about the sign of a park.
Well, no, not at all. And I mean, again, they're looking at it on surface level and not actually looking into why maybe they designed it that way. And I did read a comment that the slats are to prevent, you know, storms from knocking it down or things like because it allows wind to go through them. So it's like it kind of makes sense.
It makes sense,
I
but
mean,
like it's just wild to me that I mean, there's so much design. I'm very much a design
yeah,
person. We're in real estate. I love design.
yeah,
I love looking at things. I enjoyed it. I thought it was nice, minimal, and everything like that. But there's plenty of other designs that I don't like out there.
sure,
But I'm not gonna necessarily go on and again rant about it because what to what point?
right.
I've got to read a couple more of these because these are pretty funny. Looks like a prison sign. Somebody called it soulless. Why does every new construction building lack character and soul these days? Okay, I'm gonna put a picture up here of the old sign and
Yeah.
explain. And so I need somebody to explain to me how this is
Show me the soul in the
old.
find me the soul.
I love that they got rid of those invasive Australian pines, but this sign looks like something a scumbag developer would put in front of a coward gate community. I don't know what a coward gate community is, and I'm in
Oof.
real estate, but all right. Like, people are very and I think it
That is a very specific comment.
all of their comments come from their severe dislike of the park itself. And so I feel like they're all focusing on the sign just because the sign, because it's just everything that's been done with this park is a disaster.
I mean, in my opinion, it's a little silly. They're gonna once it's done, they're gonna love it, and it's gonna be a non-issue for everybody.
Aren't parks supposed to be green spaces? They have removed every tree and every grass. Yay, another concrete jungle. There isn't even a playground for the kids to play. So I'm interested if they've actually been to the park and seen the park because there's so much green space. There's walkways, there's plenty of shade and park
Mhm.
benches and pavilions and stuff like that. And there is a brand new playground
And splash pad.
and splash pad.
There will be
So
plenty to do there.
there's a lot of people that are saying that this was unneeded, unnecessary. It wasn't bringing any value, and we were absolutely just wasting money.
Well, in my opinion, that stance on it is completely wrong. I think that the redevelopment of this park is actually going to stimulate that area. So I have clients that live on Beach Parkway that have been trying to sell, watching their condo prices go down constantly because there is no draw to that area outside of maybe the waterfront living. But once that park is up and it draws people into that area, I can almost guarantee that you will see a stimulated uh, price increase for all the condos and all the owners that are down there. I mean, it can't not.
Yeah, and it's funny because everybody's saying the opposite, and I don't think that they're realizing that. So this person said, "This is criminal to destroy biosystem for a music venue and another food truck park. Who is benefiting from this?" So I do want to say they're going to have availability for food trucks to be there, but
Sure.
I don't believe it's a full-time food truck park like
Slip
Slip
away. Yeah,
Away
no,
is meant to
no.
be. And, a music venue, it's not full-time music venue. They're
It's
gonna
not
have
gonna go till
events.
1 a.m.
No, there's gonna
Yeah,
be obviously the sound ordinances.
yeah.
But they say in here, the 55 plus condos adjacent to this don't want it. And once their property values drop, the city will have a huge lawsuit. And I'm interested to find out where that thought process is because the people that did enjoy that park, you mentioned it earlier, it was more for nostalgia and things that they enjoy
Yeah.
versus I want to know what was the I'd love to know how many people were actually outside of those people were actually visiting that park from outside that like neighboring area. that people that were able to walk to, because I know we sure didn't. It's maybe only 10 minutes away from us, but we wouldn't go there because there was nothing for the kids to
Yeah,
do.
we're year-round residents, and we went there once for 7 minutes, and I vowed to never go back because of how frustrated I was, and there was nothing to do with the kids at the time. We went
Absolutely.
there to fish, and we were just so frustrated with the situation that we left.
But there wasn't anything out. There's no other draw for us to go there. The
No,
only real draw was for you guys to go fishing.
yeah,
So I personally believe that this is going to do the opposite,
I agree.
just like you said, of what these people are saying it's going to do, because I think it's actually going to reinvigorate that
I
area.
agree, and I would say that 60% of our buyers are from up north, so people that are snowbirds or buying something that they can come on vacation to on a regular basis. I've literally recently had, a client in town that was looking for a property, and I showed them the 55 plus units that are right there by Jaycee Park. They didn't want it because there was nothing for them to do. They
Exactly.
wanted to be off of Cape Coral Parkway where they can go to Slipaway, where they can go to some of the other restaurants and things of that nature, so they didn't wanna buy it. So when JC Park comes up and people know that there is, a music venue, there's going to be a place that they can walk up and down the boardwalk and have an incredible view of the river, by the way. Think about 4th of July, all that stuff. All that stuff is
Oh my
gonna
gosh, can you imagine
the
4th of July at
fireworks from
Jaycee
there are
Park?
gonna be amazing, or New Year's Eve or whatever, but once people actually start seeing that, they're gonna wanna live in that area. They're gonna wanna buy in that area. So you're gonna have people that are investing into those condo units. So the prices will inevitably go up because there will be a draw. There will be a reason for it.
Yeah, and I think in all of that area too, not just those condos, but everybody that lives kind of in that little corridor or whatever
Mhm.
around JC Park, I think they're all going to see in influx in their home
I
values,
agree.
because suddenly you have a draw.
Yeah.
When you're looking for a place to live, one of the reasons that we live where we live and why we chose it was not just because of the lot, not just because of the water access, but because of how close we were to the amenities that we
That
wanted
we
to
wanted.
enjoy.
Exactly.
We're 5 minutes away from the places that we spend the most time at. And so I think people are looking at JC Park solely as, well, you got rid of a green space and replaced it with concrete, which is not true. Yes, maybe they got rid of some of the green space and did some concrete, but it's not completely
Yeah.
concreted out. I think they're forgetting that the park and the decisions made around the park were not just for the people living in that neighborhood. It was for all of Cape Coral to enjoy.
Right. That's why city planning is a thing, right? It's not like getting mad at your neighbor who decides to paint their house puke green or something like that and hang random ornaments off the ceiling or off the roof.
Which is wild that they allow that.
They can, yes. Be mad about that, but when city planning goes in, they look at not just right now and not for nostalgia purposes, they look at where the city is growing. They're looking at the needs that the city has. We have more families moving into Cape Coral, which is great for us overall. Those families need an avenue for the kids to go play, for them to get out of the house, etc. Not everybody owns boats, so, having that boating community thing isn't for everyone. What are they gonna do outside of that? They're gonna go to Four Freedoms Park or JC Park if you live south of Veterans Parkway. I mean, that's where they go,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we have Four Freedoms Park, which just put in the new playground and everything like that.
Yeah,
But that's going to end up changing as, Bimini Basin East comes in,
yeah.
and we've heard that. So for us, there's not much down here in way of great parks.
Mhm.
And especially coming from a place, I always hate to compare, but you need to, especially for us coming from a place like Denver, where we had incredible parks in
Mhm.
Denver, like Washington Park. That is not all green space. Yes, there's plenty of massive trees and they've done some development, but for us going there, it was a place that we could walk and get outdoors. We could have a picnic. We could do that, but the kids had a place to play.
Yeah.
They had a place to run. They loved it. And I think that is something that, at least down here in South Cape, we don't have enough of. And I'm excited for the development of it.
I am too. I'm actually really stoked about it, and I cannot wait for it to be fully up and running and being able to, like I keep bringing up the boardwalk. That's what I'm most excited about, is being able to go out there and, drop a line in with the kids or whatnot and just enjoy an actual place where we can do that now that since we don't have the pier down in the yacht club or anything like that. This is going to give us that avenue.
Now, I want to go back to what you said about, people moving here and them adding these things for the people that are moving here. I was actually doing another video earlier, and I was talking about the fact of the growth of Cape Coral and how some people seem to think that Cape Coral is just like, we're done. We had our little moment. Now we're bust and we're moving. They don't put the type of money that they're putting into Cape Coral now if they weren't expecting
Oh, yeah.
growth and more residents. And so I think this isn't just about taking a park that, people said there was nothing, it wasn't broke, why fix it? I don't think that was the issue. I think the issue was more towards, hey, here's an opportunity to better it. No, it may
Yeah.
not be broke. Was it fine? It was fine. But could we make it better?
Yeah.
Could we make it more desirable to more residents and give more people, a great place to get out and enjoy the beautiful weather we have here?
I agree.
I'm excited for it.
I am too.
I can't wait.
I think another thing that people aren't thinking of, and here's me putting on my contractor hat, which I'm not a contractor, but I'm just going to put that on for a second. I don't know how much the city had to spend to maintain that park. Think about after Ian, those invasive trees that aren't supposed to be there. How much did it cost to remediate all of that? What kind of further damage could those cause to, the Caloosahatchee if they go down in there, or to other properties, things that we don't know all that kind of stuff. And all that stuff goes into city planning. I will say that I'm not sitting here blindly defending city planners and the costs of things.
Let's table that because that's a totally
I
different
don't want people coming
conversation.
after me for that. There might be a reason to investigate certain things. I think my point is try to look at the broader perspective and not think that, oh, they're doing this for whatever. There is a plan happening here, and I think it'll benefit us.
Yeah, sometimes there's other reasons behind
Oh, for sure.
just a new park.
Yeah.
There might be other, hidden costs or things like that they're trying to alleviate.
Right. And kind of looking down the line, if we're going to get another big storm, will it be better to have slats in the sign and not having to replace the sign? I don't know. I am not an engineer.
Honey, it's a hideous sign. It's a prison sign.
Take it out.
It's got to be gone.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to take a picture from behind the sign.
Guys, it doubles as a photo op.
Exactly.
For all of you guys that feel like this was the worst decision, we've provided a perfect photo op for you. Go take a photo, share
Forget
it.
the oversized Anorak chairs in front of restaurants. Go behind the Jaycee Park sign and take a picture in jail. Have fun with it.
With that said, this park is opening here soon.
Mhm.
I'm super excited to see what it's going to bring to the city. I know I can't wait to check it out, and I'm very interested to see how people's perspectives might change once the park is actually open and the public begins to use it. I think it might change a little bit. I'm hoping it might change a little bit.
I agree.
We've read through a lot of negative comments on this because it's been, since the beginning of this, has been a very, very divisive topic here in Cape Coral. But there's plenty of people in those comment sections as well that are really looking forward to it, really excited about it. So this person summed it up great, really looking forward to these improvements. It'll be a great citywide destination. And I think that's the key. When they were working on the new plans for Jaycee Park, I don't think that it was ever actually about just the park. It was about creating a destination that the entire city could enjoy. Really, it's all about bringing community together, especially with all the growth that we're experiencing. We're super excited. We can't wait to see what they unveil when Jaycee Park finally opens. We'd love to hear what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you at the park soon.